and then make stuff like this feel effortless. What's going on? That's a new Insta360. We're at Wes's house. Got 2 paramotors loaded up. Today we're gonna go talk about, what's the topic of discussion?
Paramotor progression.
Paramotor progression. Before we talk about paramotor progression, let me talk about bus progression. This garage was clean this morning. Here's the front area. That's the insulation wall of epicness. Let's go inside. As you can see, oh, dang old skylight. I put this whole thing in today. Trimmed it out and everything. Tongue and groove ceiling. I mean, last time they saw this, we were still in disassembly mode.
Yeah.
Wes's epic shower. Metal, dude. Harbor Freight hooks. Bam. There's a door that slides here. I checked these lights, they work.
3 bags of rock wool.
3.
4.
That's the 9th one against the wall. Yes, there's a lot of rock wool insulation in here. It's very well insulated. Mace what's gonna go there. But that's the update on the bus. Anyway. If you weren't here for bus content, you're here now. I got you hooked, and we're going flying. Let's go to the field. Flymobile. Let's see how much sawdust is on it. No, not that much. In other news, Wes got a Cena, so we could talk to each other. Am I talking through a barrel roll? He doesn't know it yet. Okay, with that, let's go up in the air. Let's go flying. What are we gonna listen to? Okay. I think I'll put the Insta on my chest strap. Clamp up! Pete's on my DRZ. Nice. Very nice, Wes. Don't hit the wood pile! If anyone wants to buy my DRZ, it's for sale. Hit me up. It'll be in Washington. Alright, jangles are dangled. Wangles are tangled. Wasn't too bad. Let's kick this tree. Start recording. Welcome to Washington. There's some hot air balloons out there. I think we're gonna head that way. But today's topic is paramotor progression. And how do you do it safely? I don't know. I'm just a kid. But I've been flying for over 5 years now. Teaching for 3. I'd like to think I know a little bit about it. Okay, let's start by defining paramotor progression. What are we talking about? Basically, paramotoring is a skills-based activity. So I guess let's start at the beginning. So everyone starts at square 0, like no skills. You show up at your paramotor beginner training. You're like, how do I paramotor? And you'll spend between 10 days and 2 weeks with an instructor learning the basics of flying. And hopefully by the end of that, you'll be able to leave and go home and fly on your own. Like, that's the goal of a beginner class. Whether you go, wherever you go, backcountry PPG is my recommendation. It's Trevor and I's school based out of Salt Lake City. We do a 10-day course, and the goal is, you can leave and go fly on your own. But when you leave, you're not a full-blown paramotor pilot yet. No. Your journey has just begun. You just got basically your learner's permit. It's so buttery, dude. I don't know. That's their problem. Wes asked where they're gonna go land. Yeah, I wanna go that way. All right, so you left your paramotor training and now you're like, you got all your gear and you're ready to go home and you basically have this learner's permit. And I would say the first 50 to 100 hours of your paramotor progression are some of the most formative and some of the most critical because you still are not confident in basically anything. You have to work on your launches and your landings, and that's basically what you're going to be progressing in that first stage. Step 1 in, I think, any paramotor progression, working on your launch technique, working on your landing technique, all that stuff. Around that 30 to 50 hour mark is, in my opinion, a really awesome time to go get with a school that does an advanced training. So at Backcountry, we offer an advanced paramotor training course. It's 4 days long, and we'll work with you on all the basic stuff or advanced stuff. We get you doing barrel rolls. But once you've kind of gone home, you're like, all right, I'm launching and landing on my own. I kind of want to tune this in a little bit better. That's where an advanced course can come in, whether it's with us or wherever you want to go. And then I think you'll spend basically the first year of your career working on the basics and getting to a point where launching and landing aren't this terrifying thing They're just something that you do, and there's no real problem or thought to it. It's just like a fun thing. So now, I would say you're at the intermediate phase. It's choose your own adventure. This is where I think it gets fun. This is where people start thinking about different wings. Wing debate, well, what glider you fly is always a hot topic. Now, I'm going to say some stuff that might sound a little bit contradictory, because I'm here on this freaking 14-meter rocket ship. Dude, the air is so smooth. The free ride doesn't move like this at all. Woo! That's some good air. Now, a lot of people are going to be, I want to get a different wing. I want to get a spicier wing, one that rolls faster, is faster in a straight line. And I think that's great. But I also think that the beginner wings right now are amazing. I actually want to step down from my free ride to something in the intermediate phase. Kind of stoked on the Jin Falcon 2 right now. It just released, and I think I'm excited to try it. But the beginner wings like the Ozone Spider 3 or the Dudek Universal, the stuff like that are really awesome nowadays. They launch really easily, they land really easily, and they're dynamic enough that you can learn any maneuver you want to on them. My personal recommendation is when you leave training, do your training on an A-wing, like a Mojo or a BGD Magic, something like that, and then go home with something in that low intermediate class, like the Spider. This is going to be something you'll basically wear out. Like, you'll learn all the basic stuff on that. Like, if you want to learn wing overs and barrel rolls, it's a great wing to do it on, because it's going to be forgiving, a little bit slower, but still do all of it. Just make sure you get the appropriate size. And then I think there's this point where you will know I'm hitting the limitations of this wing. It's like every time I fly it, you're like, man, I want this thing to roll faster. And that's when you start looking into a different wing. And then you'll probably hop into something in the C category, intermediate advanced, like the Sirocco 3, the Dudek Drift Air. That's an airplane in front of me. The Drift Air is awesome, the one that Wes is flying. How we doing? And then at that point, you got your launches and landing styles. You're doing a little bit more dynamic maneuvers. And that's when I think you start to divulge into the more niche stuff. You have a very solid baseline skill set, and you're like, all right, what can I learn that's a unique skill? So for me, the one I jumped into first was aerobatics flying, so doing wing overs and barrel rolls and sats. My Spider, actually, when I started. Hey, there's the lake we filmed that awesome reel that got a ton of traction on Instagram on. Or you can get into like cross-country flying, and you can start to get into these different avenues of flying. And after a few years, you'll have dabbled on each of the ones, and you'll have a really awesome rounded skill set. And each one of those different things will piggyback off of each other and help you in other aspects of flying. And then make stuff like this feel effortless. The Mount Rainier. Oh, how wild. I gotta wave for everyone, that's awesome. Check in with Wes, see what he's thinking. Mr. Wes! It's bumpy over here. It's blowing over the hill. It's pretty strong. Yeah, I see that. You're ripping a foot drag. I'm right behind you. Hot air balloons. Oh, dude, that one's deflating. It's getting all skinny. That's wild. Is this person jumping for us? I'm gonna climb up nice and high and then push out towards back towards home. Kind of notes overall for flying. I think as you get more experience and you spend more time in the air, you'll lose the sense of the magic on the day-to-day flights of just going up and ripping around. Just the fact that we can do this is incredible, let alone whatever wing you're flying, that kind of stuff. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. We're just out here to have fun. Other takeaways. I think flying with really experienced pilots is one of the best things you can do. I was really fortunate to have some awesome mentors when I started, like Tucker, and that helped me progress rather quickly. I'm so cold. Oh, and then my final piece of advice. Don't rush. I rushed. If you rush, two things happen. Number one, you're more prone to have little silly accidents where it was an avoidable mistake. So that's like the safety aspect of it. But I think just on a psychological level, part of paramotoring where you're unlocking new skills every time you go fly, that's the best part. Once you get to this point where you go up and fly, like it's not necessarily exciting. I don't want to say flying ever gets boring, but then you need to go do something different to go get that same feeling you got from just flying originally. And that's cool. You're gonna have a lot of crazy awesome experiences because of that. But on the flip side, when you're in that beginner intermediate phase where you know you're confident to launch and land, but you also are learning new stuff, cherish that, hold on to it, stay with it as long as you can, because that's the best part. I'm right there with paragliding right now. Bye, my son! No! Let's end this video with a nice, lovely sat. And a 1, 2. Left? It's just rando dogs. Where did they come from? How come the iPhone's lens, you can just beat the hell? But this, like, you look at it wrong. Like and subscribe. Fly safe, fly good, don't suck, and I'll see you in the next one. Doo-doo-doo-doo.